Welcome back. We are talking about spring gardening. Now is the time. The weekend is going to be great weather to get out there and do it. And joining me here is Sebby Milano from Winterberry Gardens in Southington. Thanks for being back with us. It's been a while.
Nice to see you again.
Great to see you back in person.
Yeah.
All right, so this weekend is going to be a great time to do it. And we're talking about container gardening because that's really popular and it's something that almost everybody can do, right?
Everybody can do. Yeah, we found the trend towards patio containers and deck planters and rail planters, and it seems like a lot of people don't have a lot of room in their yard to put in a vegetable garden or a flower garden, but they have room on their decks, and these are some of the units I brought along to help show people how to do that.
And this is something that we can do in like a weekend and just get a really big effort, really big reward.
Absolutely, and there's so many varieties out there. So I brought this along, which is a self-watering type of deck planter. This will go up on the rail on your deck, and it has self-watering wicks inside with a little monitoring tube. And so you can go away for a weekend and not have to worry about your plants, which is the good thing about this.
Or if you happen to forget a day or two, you're all set. To be okay.
You're going to be okay.
All right.
This one here is one of my favorites because, as you can see on the bottom, it is actually cut away.
You put it on the rail.
Yeah, you could put it on the rail, and it'll take a 2x4, which is a popular rail deck, or a 2x6.
Even wider.
So it's either one of those.
Yeah.
And it sits on them nice because of the center of gravity. You don't have to worry about it falling off.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, so the thing you want to do is start with a good potting medium that you could buy in any nursery. And we always tell everybody, remember 3 words: spiller, filler, and thriller.
Okay.
Okay, if you remember that. So we would start with a thriller.
Thriller.
A thriller is something that's going to give you a little bit of height, and it's going to give you some air, and it makes the planter look so much larger. Then the next thing we want to talk about are the fillers. So these are, if you were planting a sun planter, you might start off with a couple of fillers like that, and then you might want to go with a couple of little geraniums that are going to go up in front here like that. And that's the filler part. And you really can't make a mistake. And I tell everyone, pick out the plants that you like to look at. A lot of people look in a magazine, they say, I want to look like that. Well, do you like that? And they say, well, it's all right. Well, get something that you like. Right, because you're going to look at it more than anyone else.
Right.
The last thing we want to put in is something we call the spiller. So something that's going to hang over the deck, and it's going to trail on out.
And it adds more to that variety of the height.
Right, so you've got the height, you've got the
I love
the
spillers.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you could get any kind of look you want. So, for example, you could have taken this one out and you could put this in, and you get this is a begonia, by the way, and that just kind of gives you a totally different look.
Right.
And you could just mix and match. And if you came into the nursery and walked around in the greenhouse with your container, we'd be glad to help you find what.
Do it right there.
Right there. And then you just take it home and plant it. Now, these are some other plants I brought along in case you decided that, well, you didn't want to do a sun planting, you might want to go with some shade. Well, it's tough to find flowering shade plants. There's a few out there. This is one, the Torrenia, a real dainty little girl. She's very, very nice looking and gives you flowers all year. And then, of course, the Coleuses, they love the shade, and they don't have a lot of flowers. They don't have any flowers, but they give you a lot of color. They're very vibrant.
Now, what do you fill here? Just regular potting soil, and then how often do you have to water them?
Well, I recommend like a peat moss-based soil, because if you use dirt, you get a lot of pathogens, and then you're adding to potential problems. So yeah, just a peat moss, nice potting soil.
Yeah.
And then as far as fertilizing, you asked, when these plants are growing in your garden or on your deck or wherever, they use up a lot of energy and to trying to produce either flowers or vegetables if it's a vegetable plant. And if you look at a lot of the fertilizing boxes, they say a teaspoon in your gallon of water once every 2 weeks.
Okay, so not a lot.
Well, if you and I ate once every 2 weeks, we wouldn't look too good.
Okay.
All right. So what I recommend to all our guests is cut it back by 2/3. Do a third of what they recommend, but every time you water your plant, feed it.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Sebby, thanks so much. A small effort. You said anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it.
And of course, you have a lot of folks there at Winterberry Garden to help you walk you through it.
A lot of good associates.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great to see you back here in person.
Same here.
Thanks for so much. All right, guys, back to you.